idea.
Me too, I have an idea. Oh, okay. I didn't know you were talking about that idea.
I'm a London system merchant, you know?
You know what they say? You have to
Black don't
speak.
crack.
You have to speak a British accent when you play the London.
Okay, I think this is good. Here. And thing is, right?
Yeah. What is the thing? I want to know the thing.
So do I, but I mean, let's just take it slow. Be creative.
Okay. I respect the grind. Dubious. Let's put the chess.com emote on that one.
Dubious. Bing. Like this.
You're making my editing job tough now. How do I have 3 minutes?
I have no idea. Okay, you know what? Let's just...
Probably dubious as well. Let's put it there.
Exactly.
Put it around here. Shout out to our pawns here. They're working hard in the circle. Bro, they're in the arena right now.
Nice little square, you know. Because I don't know where to put my pieces, to be honest. Like, I have an idea of where to put them. Well, there goes my plan. If only were that simple, you know? Is there a fork some shape or form? I don't think so.
This is low-key complicated. It's not just me, right?
Yeah, well... Okay, so...
I'm not proud of that one.
Take... Oh, not a fan. Queen C2.
Okay,
I think now I'm taking on my terms, kind of. So,
you get him.
yeah,
it's finally your time.
Exactly, it's my time to shine.
Yes.
Doesn't seem so bad.
Yep.
Doesn't seem amazing either, but
no, but I'm gonna double down on your move, and I'm gonna say, you know, I'm giving it the A-OK.
A-OK. I mean, that's the ultimate stamp of approval, you know. Doesn't really get better than that.
As far as stamp of approvals, wow. Queen A7. That's got to be dubious on the thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Okay. This is interesting. Oh, you have 18 seconds. Jeez.
Why did I say that number?
Prayers. I'm not gonna do you like that, you know? Like, I'm not gonna just like flag you, but you do have to play.
I do have to play indeed.
Like, this is a warning right now. Okay, let's see here. Queen takes. I don't like what queen takes got me the other game, you know? So I'm just gonna go for my reliable pal over here. It does go with check. You do have that included in the plan.
Yeah, I mean,
has to be, you know.
Oh damn.
Oh.
Okay, 7 seconds. I almost forgot.
I think I'm gonna take here.
I think I can play this.
I'm not gonna give my queen that, you know.
Oh damn! There it is.
There it is.
There it is.
I wanted to take the pawn
there
first
it is.
as collateral, you know.
There it is.
I wish I had a nicer mate,
yeah,
you know,
thank God that.
for the
well,
content.
I was gonna say thank God my bishop's there, but so I'm losing my queen. Thank God I'm not getting mated in 2. I'm getting mated in like 7.
Going over your games with an engine is very important, especially when they're played over the board. Now I have the chance to record these, so let's look at these, if you will, with me together. Here I was the black pieces against Gab, game number 4. And after d4, knight f6, we just went on to play a London. Now, here, it's not necessarily advised to just play e6 and then take back the bishop here, because it would destroy my pawn structure. Instead, I let this happen. So not instead. I just let this happen with c5. And this is why the engine thinks of this as my first mistake, because it lets bishop takes and then pawn takes. And here, white is a little bit better, because they can attack some little weak points in my position. Oddly enough, I've seen white do this, and it's a bit better than when black do it. So c5 is a good idea, but it's not at the right time. You see, I have to take here first, queen takes or pawn takes, and then we can play c5 if we want. Right? So that's mistake number one. But then there's a bunch of misses here. So miss here by white, they should have taken and destroyed my pawn structure. Miss here by black, I should have taken to not destroy my pawn structure. And then miss here by white, they should have taken and destroyed my pawn structure. And then miss here by black. I think here, again, it just takes. It's just like I should take, and they should take me. So those are just like a string of misses. And so we just develop, and he opens up the position by trading once, and then I go castles, and then takes. So finally they do take, and I do get a terrible pawn structure. But luckily enough, I believe I do trade off this weak isolated pawn on d5. So now all is well. I have 4 pawns here against 4 pawns on the queen side, and it looks pretty equal, right? I have a very strong knight, and this is probably the knight that explains the victory for me. It's on a square in which it's very hard to take it out of it, right? f3 is not a easy possibility for white to do. And also, let's say knight d2 to trade it off is not as easy as it looks, because I have a reloader. And I can recycle the knight on f6 to just trade it back with the knight on e4. So it's a very solidly placed knight. And this is why it becomes such a dangerous piece a few moves later. By the way, this is a mistake because it's just not a good move. But the idea is good. Once they miss the way to take advantage of queen a7, which is knight e5, centralizing their knight and maybe preparing this in the very far future, and they play h3, now I have b5. And that was my plan, to go to a7 to be able to push b5 and kick that bishop. With this bishop kicked, now I have d5. So it was all a nice plan. I go back while keeping the battery. They play a move, I kick the bishop, and now we win d5. It's all a puzzle, right? And this knight on d5 is centralized to inflict knight c3, to inflict knight takes f4, and opening up for f2, and to inflict what I played in the game as well. So once the bishop moves back, because the knight was threatening the bishop, I have better than what I played in the game. And this is always nice to learn about, because what I played in the game is what I think was the best move by far. And I still thought it until I saw the engine. So this is what I played. A beautiful sacrifice that is still advantageous for the black pieces. It's really, really nice. After this, I have knight takes e3, and I'm threatening a dozen discoveries on this king on g1. But what was better was knight takes f2. And here it's a sacrifice, but not only that, we are kind of taking out the defender to make a weakness on e3. And so we're attacking this rook. It's a tempo move. You can't just do anything. So it is really suggested that you either take with the rook or take with the queen, or take with the king. Otherwise I have bishop takes, otherwise I have knight takes coming in. So let's look at both. I examined both, and okay, my favorite variation is if they take with the king. If you take with the king, it's pretty much over. I have knight takes e3, and here this battery on the king, oh my god, it's like a bulldozer. I'm coming in threatening knight takes d1, double check, actually theoretically triple check. I've never seen that in my life. Triple check on the king, winning this queen, right? So, okay, it's pretty tough. Let's say you get rid of this rook, right, with check, rook takes, and you move your king out of it, right? This would be a mistake that loses to knight takes g2, checkmate. This rook conveniently takes up the d file. And if you go adventurous, let's say to g3, this is all, by the way, to get out of this line of bishop, and to avoid the double check, right, winning the queen. So black here has knight takes f1, check on the king, bishop takes, and now the king is in no man's land. and we have bishop d6 to lure the king towards us. Right? Bishop d6 check takes up this f2 square with the queen and forces this king up. So if you go like knight e5, the knight is just in total jeopardy. I'll go check and just pick up the knight, and many other things. The king is forced up as well. This would be very, very losing. In fact, I think it's mate. King here and bishop e7 looks very, very mating. So the king is forced to like h4. And once the king is on h4, we have like queen e7 and queen e1, let's say, check. They have to block with g3 and then bishop e7, and this is absolutely atrocious for the white pieces. There's nothing that can truly stop h6 that wins the knight, or even bishop takes g5 with queen e3 and just mating the king right there in the corner. So it really is a deep line. And okay, let's look at rook takes f2 now. Bishop takes f3 is allowed, and it's very hard to defend this rook somehow, right? You would think that just like rook f1 is a good like move to defend the rook, and at least if I take, well then white hedge their bets, and here they have two pieces for the rook, two minor pieces, and that's seen as actually positive for the white pieces. But no, black has either knight c3 or knight f6. I like more knight c3. Knight c3 threatens to play knight e4 and triple down on this rook. It's really, really cool. White finds himself in a place of weakness. You can't really do this and take up e4 like this because I have just takes, right? And how else are you going to take up e4? Bishop d3 does not work. It's also due to, in part, to these rooks playing a phenomenal job taking up these open files. Put your rooks on open files. For the love of God, they take so much space and they're so strong, especially when there's no rooks to counterattack those files. Okay, so bishop g3 to defend this rook once more. But let's knight e4 and after bishop h5, it looks really nice. Maybe f6, g5, and this is positive for the black pieces as well. But okay, let's look into my sacrifice. It's -1. It's not -3 like the other sacrifice, but this will do. This will do. For a blitz game, it will do. Rook takes d8 check, rook takes, and now I'm threatening, knight d1 check, our specialty of the house, to win the queen, and he moves the king out. Now the best move, actually I was surprised here to find out, it's really not over until you convince yourself it's over. Here Gab has a draw-ish move, bishop e5, insane. Giving me this exchange with check, and the idea of bishop e5 is that on that check, the bishop becomes the hero with bishop d4. Blocking and counterattacking my queen, forcing my queen to move. Let's say my queen goes to c7. The best move is to sack the rook. We'll look at that later. If queen c7, bishop takes f1, and the engine judges that this is pretty equal for the white pieces, even though I have two pawns. I have two pawns and a rook against two minor pieces. And it's pretty equal here, which is really cool. So that means that my sacrificed pieces, right, my knight and bishop, for those two pawns and that rook, it's going to be pretty equal here. So yeah, bishop e5, really cool. And so, yeah, if king h1, I just take with some threats, some outstanding threats. And these are pretty intense threats. I mean, if you don't take my knight here, just directly, I think I have knight f2. No, I'm thinking also this. Knight f2 check, king here. I'm just picking up the queen just as in the game. Yeah. Takes here, yeah. We would just pick up the queen. So yeah, it really doesn't matter. I go knight f2 and then I dangle around. This is all forced, by the way. I'm not playing with fire. And finally, we win the queen and the game for 4-1. 10 more parts to go for this 14-game match. I hope you enjoy Game 5. It's coming soon. I'm trying to post one a week in the series, not to overload you with too many defensive tasks, but to keep this series fresh. So I hope you enjoy, and thanks for watching again.